All right, everybody, welcome to episode 1 of Off the Record with Kevin. I've got a bunch of things I want to talk about here today, starting off with first, of course, Donald Trump's re-election, return, and what it means for America. With Trump winning the election, I think there's a lot of changes that are going to happen with policy, the economy, and creative freedoms, free speech, and censorship. I'm very interested in all this, and his stances on free speech and how it could affect even the art world, the social media world, the influencer world, etc. The impacts on creative professionals who express controversial or anti-establishment ideas. I'm interested in the anti-establishment sentiments, how Trump's influence could encourage more artists to push boundaries in contrast to growing pressure to conform to all this mainstream BS that's been going on in cancel culture for the past 6 years, whatever. I'm also very interested in Elon Musk's role in all of this. I'm very curious to see how he'll further involve himself in political affairs aligned with Trump and influencing policy in regards to AI, space, possibly reshaping these industries further, as well as the investment side of that. I also wanted to talk too quickly about I find his purchase of Twitter years ago now such an interesting move, because when that first happened, people were just attacking him left and right, saying he took a huge loss, made this terrible decision business-wise, lost all his advertisers because he was letting people say what they want, instead of just wearing a mask all day and all this bullshit. And it's just really interesting to me looking back that he really played the long game on that and won. And I think it's really going to be for the better of humanity, for the better of free speech. And despite whatever extreme trolling nonsense you might see in the couple days or weeks after the election, that doesn't matter. That's BS. That's whatever. I think this is really for the better of humanity. I feel like a lot of people have felt like they've had a foot on their neck as far as talking, expressing themselves, just being controlled in every which way from every direction. You can't talk about the vaccine. You can't post this picture. You can't do that in the picture. You got to, show yourself this way, but not that way. It's I really feel like that's about to be dismantled for the better of the world, or at least the country, hopefully. Also interested in Musk's ambition with AI possibly being integrated into governance to some degree, or tested, and just transforming the way we think about leadership and decision making in our country. I'm also interested in his long-term vision for AI, including potential regulations and its effects on other AI-involved companies such as NVIDIA, and the future of technology and its intertwining with business and politics. And specifically, just for example, it's man, in the past, I think 5 days, where is it? In the past 5 days, Tesla stock has gone up 31.46%, $77 approximately. In 5 days. And I understand that this is also not financial advice, by the way, but I understand this is completely temporarily hype based. But I mean, I've been saying it for months now that AI is just going to take over all this stuff, and people looking at it, I got 10 heads. And I'm just people were telling me to hold. I was getting advice from people no, don't invest now. Hold on, wait for a bigger dip, it's not coming. This stuff is going up, and it's very important. All these companies are going to need it going forward. Apple, Google, every big player in this, digital sphere we've all participated in creating is going to desperately need the pieces of this AI world from each other all the time. And it's just going to create, in my point of view, a very long-term growth situation for a number of these companies that can hang on to it. And going further, I mean, with the stock market at an all-time high, like, will it continue to climb or will there be a downturn? Like, how will political shifts like Trump's return impact long-term stock performance? Personally, I think, well, I mean, a lot of people like to say that, like, the Democrats build the best economies and hand them over to the Republicans. I mean, you say whatever you want, that's fine. But, like, during Biden's term, like, the stock market crashed off and then just rose back to, like, where it was before that. So it basically just did a big U, and there was, like, just meaningless. And I'm also been looking at, I mean, I've been thinking about the future of AI for an extremely long time now, but I'm just interested in how that's going to influence, you know, like, global power structures, including China's progress with AI compared to the US. But, like, more than anything, I'm, like, fascinated the most with all this, with, like, the free thinking coming back to the arts, and, like, the freedom of speech, the freedom away from censorship, like, just uncensored, like, people saying what they feel, not accommodating the system that doesn't benefit us, like, in any way, like, putting context, like, warnings on our posts and saying all this, like, controlling us to the T. Like, they're like, oh, you can't post this that way, you can't say this that way, you can't do this that way. It's like Trump is going to come through and shatter that. And it's like, that is why you got these guys running around doing all this crazy stuff. Like, let's really get into it, dude. Like, all right, so I'm not going to play this whole clip. I just want to play, like, 10 seconds of it because you guys probably already saw it on my story. But, like,
if we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple. Just like dominoes, one by one, they'll go down. That's why today I'm announcing my plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime and to reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans. And reclaim is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people. They have collaborated to suppress vital information.
So I'm not going to play the whole clip because I don't want to give you guys 6 minutes of just him talking. But the gist of it is that he's genuinely trying to go after, like, these censorship coalitions that have been built and developed inside of all of these, like, I mean, essentially, like, social media companies probably specifically, but also, like, the intelligence agencies being involved in it as well. And, like, just controlling the shit out of all of us. And, like, honestly, that 6-minute video to me, if you watch that 6-minute video, that 6-minute video of him speaking before he's even been inaugurated, I promise you, it will give you more courage, faith, hope, confidence than anything Joe Biden or Kamala Harris did at all in the past 4 years. Like, it's just, it's going to be a new world quick, in a good way, trust me. And, like, so, like, I'm thinking myself about, like, how this is going to affect independent authenticity. Like, how artists maintain their individuality and authenticity in a world that increasingly values conformity and political correctness. Now, I don't think that those increasing values of conformity and political correctness are going to stick around. I think those are going to get freaking torched, like, real quick in the coming, like, weeks, like, literally, or months. And, like, so, like, let's talk about the intersection of politics, free speech, and art, right? Like, think about the rise of censorship and cancel culture, like, and how this affects even artists, like, because it's like, dude, I'm telling you, once you get sucked into one little piece of this, like, oh, you're an anti-vaxxer, oh, you're a Trump guy, oh, you did this, oh, you said that, it's all over. It's like, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're this, you're that, you're canceled, it never stops. So it's like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, is him coming back, this rebel being in the White House, and also having all these youngish men behind him, like J.D. Vance, what's his name, Elon Musk, like these people that like I honestly believe in to like lead and like innovate and shit. Like I'm just really curious about like the type of resurgence that this could like do just to like these like the culture in general of like America. And so like let's talk about RFK Jr. and like big pharma influence. So like RFK's health claims. Like I'm honestly not like a super duper deep expert on RFK Jr.'s health claims. Like when I first saw him enter this whole sphere, this election season or whatever, I was kind of turned off by his like gravely voice, and I was concerned that it was going to be a major issue for him no matter where he was placed, like for his role on either party. And I wasn't like a huge fan of it initially. And then I started doing like a little more research or whatever and like thinking about it more, and I think he's going to be good. And I also think people should know that his voice is not from like smoking cigars or something. It's his voice is a disorder that like causes his muscles in his throat to like contract abnormally, which causes him to speak like that. And I also honestly have like a personal connection to this whole big pharma thing, because I honestly feel like looking back at my life that like this whole push to like get like people, younger people like on like these SSRIs or all these like nonsensical like mental health medications that like the majority of us like probably don't need or never needed. Like I just think it's like all been pushed by like this like Democratic Party machine like this whole time. I feel like I'm looking back at my life and I'm like, dude, like this has just been going on forever. They've just been like using like these TV commercials and all these major corporations just push like these pills down Americans' throats like without reason. And it's like really crazy to realize. And you want to go really deep, like go look into how freaking all the cigarette companies bought out all the junk food companies and like turned that into poison. Like I don't even feel like going there. I don't have the energy, but so I'm very interested in how like the pharmaceutical overreach situation will like kind of take place with this, and where that'll all go. And something I really want to talk about that I have been saying to everybody for 4 straight years, literally on Twitter, Instagram, I freaking got banned over this stuff, like practically. And like you are the media now, like CNN, MSNBC, blah, 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 blee. Like that's all exist, but it's over. It's gone. It's dead. It's you now. Like all your family's watching you. All your friends are watching you. All your fans are watching you. Everyone's watching everyone, and everyone's influencing everyone all the time. You yourself, doesn't matter who you are. You have the power to influence a celebrity and change their mind on something. Literally. The power shift that this can cause is like monumental. Like I'm so interested in this, like how internet and platforms like podcasts and YouTube are like democratizing media production, like, and that's just like generalizing the hell out of it. But I'm just saying, like, the real point is like this is the dismantling of media control. Like this shift will reduce the power of the established media outlets, and it will give individuals like total control over the stories they tell and consume. And yeah, you can argue we already had that, but we had control to say like some stuff, but it was being completely controlled so that it would go in one direction only. And like you were exiled and like abolished if you said anything going the other way. Like if you want to see how crazy this is, go on your freaking profile, so your Instagram story, post the word Trump. You're going to have 500 DMs, people trying to attack you immediately. That's how out of control the conditioning and brainwashing about all this nonsense is. Like you literally need to zoom out, you treat your brain like the widest angle lens in the world, and zoom all the way out of all of this and look at it as just entertainment. Like it's so, I mean, I've kind of said this, but the nationwide shift in freedom of expression and art, I'm real curious where this is going to go. I think cultural norms are going to shift. I think people are going to stop giving a shit about like holding back their words, like not saying this word, not saying that word. And like, I'm not saying I want that to go down a bad path and be like messed up. But it's like, I grew up in the 90s, man. Like, we used to say crazy shit to each other, and it was hilarious, and it was all good. It's like, I don't understand this new, like you got to tiptoe over everything. Like, I'm not with it. And yeah, I think this pushback against censorship, I think Trump's serious about it because it's personal for him, and I think it's going to be good for everybody in the world, literally. Yeah. And another thing I really wanted to mention that I personally believe myself and really have been thinking about is I think all of this pushback on the censorship and this freedom stuff and everything that Trump and Elon kind of stand for and are going after, I mean, and JD Vance kind of, he's just a little more kind of chill. But I think you're about to witness some of the most hyper competitive business investment and social influencing era ever. I think Trump's win is going to affect the global shifts in attitude on political, economic, technological, everything. People are it's going to make business, investment, and social influencing so much more competitive, and people are going to stop being scared. This fear-based living is going to end. We need to shatter it right now. Shatter the fear-based living. End it. It's over. Do you. Get comfortable in front of a camera. Get comfortable in front of a microphone. Tell everyone your thoughts. Don't hold them back. Wear the hat you want. Wear the shirt you want. Represent whatever the hell you want. Do it. It doesn't have to be my side. Do it. Represent you. And yeah, I think there's going to be a literal global vibe shift from this. The atmosphere of intense competition, I think it's going to foster innovation. And yeah, I think it's going to emerge a lot of really amazing stuff for our country. And yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be really good, man. I'm pumped that Donald Trump won the election. I stood on this for 4 years. I was talking about this free thinking stuff 4 years ago, and people were looking at me like I had 10 heads. Why are you posting these MAGA rappers? Why are you talking about free thinking? Where'd all the hot girls go? All we want is hot girl pictures from you. It's dude, wake up. This isn't just about that. This is reality, dude, and I'm going to talk about it straight up. So one other thing I think I wanted to touch on was I was mentioning that Tesla stock going crazy. I was mentioning the Tesla stock going crazy the past week or whatever, 5 days. And just how so I've been more interested myself personally in Nvidia because I have a little bit of skepticism with Elon about the stuff he's done with crypto, but I still have a lot of faith in him as an innovator, and I'm real intrigued now with with him now. I wasn't the biggest Elon guy ever before. I never cared for him much. I paid attention a little, but I wasn't even a fan of Tesla, and now I'm whoa. Now I want to buy a freaking one of the Teslas with the, can't remember the model name, but the one with the panoramic ceiling or whatever, you can see everything. But I'm real interested in I know he hasn't said much about Nvidia's his stance on Nvidia publicly, but I'm curious how this will all align, Nvidia and Tesla, because I know their goals align as far as Tesla's goals for autonomous driving and AI driven innovation. And I know Musk is more interested in getting his own proprietary Tesla AI chips rather than relying on opposing companies like Nvidia, but I still think with him in the White House that you're going to see collaboration on AI regulation, autonomous vehicle policy, cutting edge tech development that will give both companies that will foster both companies a supportive environment to thrive under this term and these people. And with that said, I think we should have some fun now. Look at some meltdowns. And I also wanted to remind you guys, dude, so all these guys that cry all day long talking about how, oh my God, women's rights, I can't believe this. I want you to remember, Jimmy Kimmel cried on his show the night of the election or the night after. He was crying, tears were coming out of his eyes because he was complaining about women and all this shit. This is what Jimmy Kimmel, this is how Jimmy Kimmel behaves around women. This is the guy who cries about women's rights. This is what he does to them in public. He's a liar. He's a bought and paid fraud. You guys need to understand this. Look at this nonsense. I'll probably get banned. Like, so I need you guys to always remember that these filthy rich celebrities, they do not care about us. They're not living in the same freaking planet as us. They're in another bubble. They're getting checks for every freaking word that comes out of their mouth. It's all nonsense to influence you. All of it. Trust me. And yo, you guys need to remember, dude, and not that I'm saying this is a great thing. I'm not trying to get involved in this. I've been saying I want to live up to the slogan. Yeah, I had my 1 or 2 days or whatever, did my little trolling, that's over. I want to live up to the slogan, make myself great, make the country greater, like play my part in doing that however I can. Make it healthier, which I have been pushing for a couple of years now. Like, let's be real. And like, yeah. But I just wanted to say, you guys can't forget, when you guys go on the internet and get like upset or emotional about this Trump stuff, you guys can't forget, these MAGA people live for this. And they are the biggest trolls ever created on planet Earth. Like, look at this. They're gonna, dude. Oh, sorry. You're going to see this everywhere. Just like the Joe Biden stickers. Within a couple weeks, you're going to see this everywhere. They're going to be putting Donald Trump lives here stickers on every freaking bill in freaking circulation in the whole freaking country. It's like, you can't get upset about this stuff, guys. They're screwing with you. Like, that's all it is. And, yeah, it's like, dude, you got teachers like trying to complain to the kids about this in school. Like, wait, hold on. Let's laugh at this real quick.
What's the difference between a wet raccoon and Donald J. Trump's hair? A wet raccoon doesn't have $7 billion fucking dollars in the bank. Excuse me. You said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers. President Trump? I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. And your father was never considered smart. He was never considered a good senator. He was only a good vice president because he understood how to kiss Barack Obama's ass. Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's the answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to, you're a nasty person. Don't be rude. I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news. If I were running The View, I'd fire Rosie. I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired.
You call women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail. She's shocked that I picked her. Like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking.
That's okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do. She was big.
I love this one.
In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please.
Sound familiar?
Does that sound familiar?
Visceral response to attack people on their appearance. Short, tall, fat.
Oh my God, man. This guy is so defiant and so funny. You guys need to understand, like, this guy is going against the machine for us. It's not a joke. Yeah, he's rich. Whatever. Dude, one tweet from this guy will outdo Joe Biden's whole presidency. It's like, it's that serious. Yeah, you're gonna win? Are ya? I've been waiting for this, man. You guys don't. I have been waiting for this. I have been waiting.
Another. And here in Berks County,
Yeah.
one of the larger Hispanic populations in Pennsylvania, here's Trump with just about, look.
Violating my freaking life right now are Trump supporters. Money in your pocket, you were tricked. None of his concepts of economic plans will ever benefit anyone.
They're out of their minds.
I'm scared to go to sleep. How am I supposed to go to work and
They're
do
crazy.
little daily activities when I know that we all just...
You guys want to know the real dark, insidious side of this? Is these type of people are the people running around telling everyone in the country they're mentally ill and they need to be on meds. These people. These people that can't control themselves in front of their own selfie camera are the people telling you you're mentally ill and need meds. Like it's like that might be your therapist. Like literally, that's how insane this shit is.
A far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy.
Dude, shut up. You're an idiot.
South Africa.
I'm not even listening to you. You don't deserve it.
What's going on, Kadeem?
It was rough before. No, that's cute.
This is a proposition to raise the minimum wage
Yes.
Immediately to $17 an hour, then to $18 an hour at the beginning of next year. 49.3% yes.
Oh, you guys don't understand. You don't understand what it's been like to stand on this for 4 years and get this result of a victory. Trump must feel like God.
That's a slaughterhouse.
This could break me in my pants.
Who is a disinformation propaganda.
Yeah.
Joe Biden to step down and make Kamala Harris the 47th.
Biden's still gonna save you from Trump. Biden can't save himself from an ant. You guys are idiots. Yeah, let's talk about that. Why were there 18 million less votes, dude? Like what? There should have been 18 million more votes the way the energy's been. What's wrong? I'm asking. Look in the mirror and say that.
I can't do this anymore. I'm literally sick. I'm
Good.
literally sick to my stomach.
Good.
What has happened to America?
It's gotten better.
It turns out Muslim voters actually voted for Trump.
You're damn right.
And you are basing this off of this. A single tweet. Election day vote in a Dearborn precinct. Trump, Stein, Harris. This is all it takes for you? That's it?
Yes. I don't even care. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's all it takes for me.
Extreme sort of.
Not listening to you. Not listening to you. Ha, you're a loser. Ha, cry.
4 times indicted, convicted on 34 felony counts, former president.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Not one county?
Iowa called for Trump, so there goes that nonsense.
Ha.
Like you
Get wrecked.
getting revved up here on a significant rank. So
Yeah. We freaking did it, baby. But all jokes aside, all gloating aside, this is going to be for the better of the country, the better of free speech, the better of everybody. And with that, I'm going to take a celebratory dab, and that'll be that. Someone tell Puffco to freaking sponsor me for this shit. Literally. And some rosin company. Bountiful Farms, I'm looking at you. This fucking guy. Get off my screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all she wrote. Episode 1 out. See you next week. Let's make this country great again.